What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Evans here with Zero Meter Chasers live at noon here on your Friday, July 10th. And I just wanted to kind of cover what happened last night, the flash flooding that did occur in far western Kentucky, kind of cover some of the rainfall amounts that we've gotten here in Kentucky just from the first wave, and then cover the possible second wave that we could have later this afternoon, and then another wave on Saturday. So just repeated rounds of showers and storms are expected here as we get through our weekend. You guys are currently looking at the Kentucky Mesonet website, and you guys can see anywhere in green is where you have that flood watch that is in effect until 2 a.m. on Sunday. So a very prolonged flood watch here for repeated rounds of showers and storms here as we continue to get through the weekend. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds to get in here, and then we will get started. I just want to make sure the audio is working. So if somebody can put the audio is working fine in the chat while we get started here, I would greatly appreciate that. So we'll get started here. So what I wanted to do first was kind of look at some of the rainfall that did occur last night from our rounds of showers and storms. So we're going to first start here in central Kentucky, and then we'll kind of work our way to western Kentucky, where some significant flooding did occur last night. So this is looking at the Weatherfront website, and this is what the rainfall that did occur last night. Anywhere that you see the orange colors, the yellow and the orange, is about 1 inch of rainfall, and anywhere where you get into this purple is where you're getting into about the 3 to 4 inch rainfall. You will see right along I-64. I'll zoom in a little bit here, but just west of Louisville, we did get about 4 to 5 inches of rain just south of I-64 here. And then here in Breckinridge County, we also did get significant flash flooding that did lead to a flash flood warning in Irvington, where it was an observed flash flood warning. So there was observed flash floods, or there was observed flash flooding that did occur last night in Irvington. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. If we go down here to Litchfield as well, we also got about 3 to 4 inches of rain down here near Litchfield as well. So scattered amounts of about 1 to 3 inches of rain fell, and that will lead to a more elevated flash flooding threat as we get into the evening. So we'll have another round of storms again this afternoon and evening and overnight. And this rain just, again, exaggerates the flash flooding threat that we have here in central Kentucky. If we look over here in western Kentucky, though, this was the area that I have been highlighting. We talked a lot about it yesterday, about how the model data was kind of hinting at repeated rounds of showers and storms here. And if you look, luckily, most of Kentucky now 2 to 4 inches for the most part fell out here in western Kentucky between Paducah and Murray. But if you look in far southern Illinois here, nearly 7 inches of rain fell just southeast of Cape Girardeau. And then if I zoom out here just a little bit, you'll see there is this flash flood warning here in central Missouri with 11 inches of rain. Near radar estimated actually 12 inches of rain that fell here near Ironton, Missouri. And this is leading to a catastrophic flash flood warning. If I click on this here, you'll see this graphic, and law enforcement is reporting that a life-threatening flash flooding event is happening. And the problem with that is that we're going to have, again, another round of showers of storms here in far southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, and western Kentucky as we get into the afternoon and evening hours today. So, again, that's just going to kind of exaggerate the flooding issues that we have ongoing here. We'll take a look at radar, and you'll see we don't have much storm action right now in Kentucky. And we talked about this yesterday, but that's not the best thing in the world. I was kind of hoping we'd get at least some of this stratiform rain, because this is allowing us to destabilize or build fuel for more storms in the afternoon and evening hours. But again, if you look out here in far western Kentucky, we do have some showers right here near Bowling Green. And all these are kind of pushing off to the southeast, but you're getting filtered sunshine. I know I've seen the temperature down here in Fulton County was already approaching 80 degrees. So that any sunshine that you get today is kind of going to destabilize us and allow us to build fuel for more storms in the afternoon and evening hours. If I look over here to central Kentucky, we do have some rain that is ongoing in far eastern Kentucky, just east of Lexington and south of Lexington as well. And again, all this is kind of moving off to the southeast. And I'm not expecting any storms here along the I-65 corridor until later in the afternoon. So what I wanted to do now, this is going to be a quick update today, but I did want to take a look at the latest HRRR for you guys, and we'll take a look at what to expect as we get into the afternoon. So while I get this loaded up here, I just want to make sure if you guys have any questions or anything, any questions about any specific areas, please be sure to put that in the chat. When I get done with this kind of simulated radar, I'll go back to any questions that we have, and I'll kind of cover those here. So you'll see this is the HRRR. Your timestamp is up here on the top left. This is today at 1 p.m., so just in an hour. And it's doing pretty good with the radar coverage. It does show that little bit of kind of rain. It's an outflow boundary that's going to kind of fire storms here. And just like yesterday, the flow is going to be going from west to east, maybe southeast. So we'll have to look up here into Missouri and Illinois as we get into the afternoon, because whatever starts up here is going to track into Western Kentucky and even the I-65 corridor. So if we fast forward this and we get to 6 p.m., again, you'll see we're going to stay dry in Kentucky for most of the day. Just like yesterday, I actually think there'll be less pop-up storms today versus the pop-up storms that we had yesterday. So I don't think we'll have much storm coverage on the radar, but again, we'll have to turn our attention here to the northwest, because this storm action here that's starting to get going in Missouri and Illinois, if I fast forward it to 8 o'clock, you'll see we're finally starting to get some storm action here in far western Kentucky on a line from Paducah to Hopkinsville. And you can kind of see this is our MCS that's going to be moving off to the southeast. And it's the same areas that were hardest hit yesterday kind of look like they're going to be hardest hit tonight as well. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned about a significant flash flooding threat here in far western Kentucky. I haven't covered this yet, but there was significant damage in far western Kentucky yesterday as well from wind damage in Eddyville, Kentucky. Lyon County Sheriff Office was reporting multiple power lines down in the area and damage to houses and roofing in Eddyville, and was asking people to stay out of the area while they try to get things picked up. So I don't think that the severe risk today is as high as it was yesterday, but we could get an isolated damaging wind threat with any of these storms here, especially at the 8 p.m. window. We still have some heating, so I am a little bit concerned about a more isolated damaging wind threat. If we fast forward radar here, this is at 10 p.m. tonight, and you can see these showers, or these rounds of showers and storms here are in far western Kentucky on a line from Evansville to Paducah, and these are going to be pushing off to the east. So I do think western Kentucky is going to get involved in this storm action first. Looks to be late evening, maybe somewhere between the 7 to 10 p.m. window. If I fast forward this a couple more hours here, you'll see these storms kind of start to die off as they dive off to the southeast. But then we have the stratiform rain, the same thing that we had yesterday, just heavy rain behind that. And you also see some more storm action that's trying to form out here in Missouri. So I just think the radar is going to get active as we get into the evening and overnight hours. I don't think severe weather is a huge threat today. We'll look at the outlook here in 1 second. But I do think we could have a couple of isolated severe warnings as we get into the evening. Now, if I fast forward this to about 3 a.m., you'll see those storms, that complex of storms has kind of moved out. But a second complex of storms here is starting to form in Missouri and Illinois. And again, these are going to dive southeast. So we could have a messy morning commute as we get into 7 a.m. On your Saturday here in far western Kentucky. We'll look at the precipitation amounts here in 1 second, but I mean, a lot of the data guidance has just been hinting at far western Kentucky for the best coverage of storms as we get into your evening and overnight hours. So I kind of want to cut that off here, because whatever happens on Saturday is going to be very dependent on what happens today. So it's just taking it one day at a time in a system like this. It does look like we're going to have more repeated rounds of showers and storms as we get into our evening and overnight hours tonight. If we look at the precipitation amounts from the HRRR, you'll see where the HRRR is kind of hinting at a swath of about 2 to 5 inches of rainfall all the way until Saturday morning. So this is just from the evening and overnight wave. And this is more highlighting in the Paducah, Madisonville, and Hopkinsville area. And we'll have to watch, because, again, sometimes the data can be underdone. And when it's showing 3 to 5 inches, like yesterday it was showing 2 to 4, we had an area in Missouri that got 12 inches of rain. So I'm a little concerned of a significant flash flooding threat that could set up here in far western Kentucky. The HRRR is dry along the I-65 corridor, but we'll kind of see. It's not the only model. See, a lot of the models here, this is looking at a different model that we look at. This is the 12Z NAM. You'll see the NAM's picking on two different waves. It's got the first wave that we kind of showed here in Paducah, and then a second wave along the I-65 corridor. And that's from the overnight storms as well. So I don't think the I-65 corridor is going to get skipped out completely. And I do think we could have a more isolated flash flooding threat along the 65 corridor as well. But some of the model data is still a little bit different on exactly where the most significant flash flooding threat sets up. But again, with the NAM and the HRRR still showing that swath from Paducah to Hopkinsville here, we'll have to watch far western Kentucky for any flash flooding risk as we get into tonight. So here are some graphics from the National Weather Service in Louisville. This is talking about the flood watch is in effect until late on Saturday. Pockets of 1 to 2 inches with pockets of 3 to 4 inches could lead to significant flash flooding. You'll see it's kind of highlighting that double-barreled the two areas here along I-65 and then another one here in far western Kentucky for the most significant rainfall as we get into your afternoon and evening today. Again, as we look into tonight, I think you could maybe shift this a little bit farther west compared to some of the model data, but we are watching an area between E-Town and Bowling Green for localized higher amounts of over 4 inches. So again, with the saturated ground that we have, it's not going to take much rainfall to cause issues in the area. We've already had flash flooding, and just the repeated rounds of showers and storms here are going to cause a flash flooding issue for the next couple of days. So here is your severe risk for today. It's a level 1 out of 5. Here in Kentucky. There is a level 2 out of 5 in far western Kentucky. And I did want to show that real quick. So I'm going to pull that up. Here is the updated outlook from the Storm Prediction Center here. And that level 2 out of 5 is here from Paducah and points off to the northwest. So we will have to watch for a damaging wind threat with this. I think that's the biggest threat. There is a 5% wind threat anywhere else. So we still could get an isolated damaging wind threat outside of this yellow area. But I do think that this from Paducah and points off to the northwest is the biggest severe concern today. But by far, I think the biggest concern today is going to be our flash flooding risk. Again, no tornado risk at all today, not a high hail risk, and just that wind risk as we get into the overnight hours tonight. Here's the timing for storms from the National Weather Service. If you're in far western Kentucky, anywhere from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. along the I-65 corridor, about 1 to 5 a.m. And then along the I-75 corridor, anywhere from 5 to 10 p.m. They do note the trend is slowing down, so it could be more of an overnight to an early Saturday morning issue. And then as we look to Saturday, remember Saturday is very dependent on what happens today, but there is a level 1 out of 5 risk in the Tennessee Valley for another round of possible severe storms tomorrow. But we won't know what will happen tomorrow until we get through today. So just getting through these rounds of storms today. The greatest risk does look to be further south tomorrow, though, although we could get some just general thunderstorms, I think, on Saturday in Kentucky. And again, as we look into Saturday, we still have that excessive rainfall outlook, and we're worried about flash flooding in all of Kentucky. So biggest things with this is flash flooding is very dangerous and conditions can change very quickly. There's already been confirmed deaths in Kentucky from flash flooding just in the last couple of weeks. So it's the reason why I try to hammer home, turn around and don't drown as much as I do, because you don't know how deep the water is, and only 6 inches of rain can stall your car, and 12 inches of rain can sweep your car away. So now you're going wherever that flood water is going. So I just want everybody to be weather aware. And if you get those notifications on your phone for a flash flood warning and you see flooded roadways, please make sure to turn around and don't drown as we get into the overnight and into the weekend this weekend. So that is what I got for you guys. I will open up for any questions here for the next couple of minutes. If you guys have any questions for any specific areas, again, just the number one risk today is going to be our flooding risk. Here is that flood watch one more time for every single person in Kentucky. This flood watch will go until 2 a.m. on Saturday. and we will have to see. Brooklyn says, do you think the major flooding risk today into tonight will shift into Somerset? Just looking at the latest model data, I think that the heaviest rainfall looks to be a little bit further west. But I think you still could get some repeated rounds of storms, which could lead to 1 to 2 inches of rain, which could still cause some flash flooding. So I think the major flooding risk is more near the Paducah to Murray area, far western Kentucky. But I think all of Kentucky under this flood watch is under at least an isolated flash flooding risk until we get through these rounds of showers and storms through Saturday evening. So that's a good question. Thank you for the question there, Brooklyn. Again, you guys can put any more questions that you have in the chat. I really appreciate it. But we'll just have to watch this. We'll have to watch radar as we get into the evening. Again, the timing looks to be in the evening to overnight for everybody in Kentucky. So our day will remain dry for many of us until the evening hours. And then we'll kind of have a rinse cycle repeat setup as last night. We'll have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, I think, and a lot of flash flood warnings as we get repeated rounds of showers and storms. So if we have no other questions, that is all I got for you guys today. We will keep you guys updated here at Zero Meter Chasers with live updates continuing through the evening hours today. I think Corey's going to get on a live update this evening, and we'll have you guys updated. So just make sure you stay weather aware with the flooding threat that's going to be ongoing and through the end of the weekend tonight. And I hope everybody has a safe and blessed weekend. Thank you, guys.